Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakim, pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Amathia from the GMS Dallas camp. Lord willing, this will be edifying. This is it. The time has come. This is Ezekiel 7 and verse 5. It says, Thus saith Yahweh power, an end and only evil. Behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come. All right. We'll go ahead and play this. This is, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Noam Chomsky. And it reads here, we're approaching the most dangerous point in human history.
First article I wrote, at least that I can remember, was in 5th grade. I was 10 years old. I can date it very easily because of the time and the topic. It was an article about the fall of Barcelona. It was an article for the elementary school newspaper. I was the editor, probably the only reader, maybe my mother. The article I hardly remember. It was about the fall of Austria, fall of Czechoslovakia, fall of Toledo, now the fall of Barcelona. Looks like the grim cloud of fascism is spreading over the whole world, inexorable. Well, that was February 1939. Haven't changed my opinion since. It's just gotten worse.
And everything he's saying here is under the Edomite rule. And who is the Edomites? The so-called white man. This is 2nd Ezra 6. And start at verse 6. It says, Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall be ended, and by none other. All right. So the Lord said it will all be ended by him and none other. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And what Ezra is asking is, when is the end of this world is going to end, and when shall the kingdom of heaven follow it? Verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, and from Jacob unto Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. All right. For Esau is the end of the world. All right. And you can read about that, the earth was given to the hands of the wicked in Job 9 and 24. Okay. So back in 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 9, it says, For Esau, which is the so-called white man, is the end of the world, and Jacob, which is you so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, all right, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So that is basically when you ask when will the kingdom of heaven begin? That's when the beginning of Jacob's who will follow. That's the kingdom of heaven, when it goes back in Jacob's rule. And that will go, and we know that Yahweh Shai, okay, the only begotten son, our big brother, the head, all right, it's Yahweh being the father, okay, the living power, in the first creation, Yahweh Shai. All right, so, and we know that when he came upon the scene, he know that he came and sprung up out of Judah. All right, and you can read about that in Hebrews 7, around the 14th verse. So we know here what he's speaking, that this is the end. As you measure the time diligently, as it says in 2nd Ezra 9, and see what parts of the signs has passed, okay, which he have told us before. All right, so when it says the end of the world and beginning of it that followeth is the end of this world that we're living in today, as we see, have been waxing worse and worse. All right, and it's not going to get any better. We are at the end. This is it, the point of no return.
The doomsday clock of the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists under Trump, they abandoned minutes, moved to seconds, 100 seconds to midnight. That's where it is now, because the threats are accumulating. We're approaching the most dangerous point in human history. Nothing like it before. We are now facing the prospect of destruction of organized human life on Earth from environment.
And you see, he said organized destruction of of humans on Earth, right? So this is what he's basically saying has been plotted. It's been an agenda to do what? As it says in the Georgia Guidestone, he wanted to get how many people down the Earth down to 500 million out of 8 billion people. That is a very big number. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. And what is one of these? He have used his witchcraft and his devices to do what? Bring forth this injection that everyone is receiving that's going to end up being detrimental to their life, to their health, possibly going to ultimately lead to what? The grave. And it's going to do what? That's what the help. And with war, which we see World War III is basically here. We just haven't had a missile shot over here in Babylon the Great, which is aka America, but it will be happening soon. So this man basically is setting up for what? The destruction of millions of billions of people. All right? Never trust thine enemy, as it says in Sirach 12. All right? I'm going to get that real quick and then we'll keep going. This is Sirach 12. All right? And verse 10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right, so if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So he can say everything is all good, but through his wickedness, he's going to be plotting against you, which he's been doing with this thing that they're receiving in their bodies. Okay, and it's been now it's starting to come out that basically your immune system after will basically be the best block or the best defense for what that COVID-19. It's the best defense, okay? Your antibodies, not what they're giving you. All right? So never trust thine enemy. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. So this is the same man that put you in captivity, the same man that beat, raped, and robbed you so-called blacks, even you so-called, like you say, Native Americans, who basically killed 90-some% of the so-called Native Americans, have raped, robbed you so-called Spanish nations, you Latinos that I'm talking about, and also because because the Spaniards the one that's conquered you, and then they brought the Southern Kingdom over here in cargo slave ships and beat, raped, robbed us, maimed us, did everything they could think of, and got rich, the richest nation in the world, off of what? Free labor, off your labor, because you know who he was getting to basically come and put him in subjection. He know the scriptures. Esau knows the scriptures. But the time has come, like you say, it's point of no return. This is it. The end of Esau's kingdom.
Mental destruction, and not in the remote future. We are approaching irreversible turning turning points which will not be cannot be dealt with any longer. It doesn't mean everybody's going to die, but it's going to mean moving to a future in which the lucky ones will be those who die more quickly.
And he said the lucky ones will die more quickly. All right. This is Revelations 9. All right. And verse 6, it says, "And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them." So men is going to be desiring for death because they'll rather die than suffer through what's coming or what they're going through at that time. So this is the time to wake up, especially you so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites and who are scattered abroad through the other nations. If your spirit resonates with you, you could be Israelite. Because this time we're out here for the elect. Time is about to end, and a new beginning it will come from it, which is the kingdom of heaven, which will reign forever and ever. This is going to happen with famine, pestilence, all right, throughout the whole world. Tempest, all this is going to come about, all right. Third woe coming quickly, and the third woe basically is here. Jacob's trouble is going to ramp up. If you're not with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the next step you're going to walk in is death. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakin pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.